What's up, everybody? It's Steven. I'm back here, not your financial planner, because I'm not planning your finances. This is not financial advice, but let's get into the video. First things first, let's head over here to the phone. I got Christopher Silver's Cash App, cash tag all plugged in for that $10 of free Bitcoin. Thanks for the comments, sending it now. Bada bing, bada boom. After that, we're going to get to Chandler Riley. Also, he was generous enough to post some questions on the page, and I'm really thankful for that because the point of this YouTube channel is to get it done. Answer your questions, open up a dialogue. Let's talk about it. Let's figure out what we're doing here. So pardon me while I multitask here, just getting everything out of the way. Next up, Chandler Riley, bada bing, bada boom, TYSM, exclamation mark, next. Yeah, I'm pretty stoked to be sharing Bitcoin with people who comment on these videos. Reason being is that I've got a lot of value from Bitcoin, and it's given me some extra cash on the side to create this YouTube channel in hopes to help. But more importantly, I get to share and spread the love. So there are still only 2 comments on that first YouTube video, meaning that there are still 8 different slots to be filled. This video is not going away. $10 in Bitcoin. Post your cash tag there with a question and it'll be sent over to you just as I just did with my buddies. So with that being done out of the way, let's take a quick look at the charts over here. So in front of us here on the screen, I've got Bitcoin using the daily candles. This is on Coinbase.com. That's where this data is coming from. So I've got it pretty far zoomed out here, so you can see that back in this area, this is 2017 when Bitcoin first went to $20,000. Obviously, since then, price has taken a steep increase there up to about 64,000, and now we're at a level here that we were once in back in the January area. And really what we're seeing here is just uncertainty in the market. People don't know where it's going to go. There was a lot of euphoria, a lot of positivity whenever the price was high. And human sentiment is a weird thing in that when price is high, people want to buy, they feel like they're going to miss out. But now as we've declined by over 50% in total, but right now we're looking at about 48%. So price has gone down 48% and the sentiment has shifted. People have now began to question, okay, is Bitcoin still a good investment? So we can kind of see here, I mentioned this in the last video very quickly, but this candle here, this green one here, represents the day that Bitcoin was purchased. Rather, it was announced by Tesla that they were going to purchase it. So this was a day that produced, what was it, 20% increase in price. So that was a big day for the news headlines with Bitcoin, which actually does kind of get into a question that Chandler was asking later, or in the other video. So one of Chandler's questions was essentially like, are there other news sources, whether it be Twitter, YouTube, other things, indicators where you can kind of get a sense of what Bitcoin is doing? You know, you can try to gauge which direction it's going based off of some other news source other than just looking at charts. So I wish that there was a quick and easy answer solution to that. I bet everybody wishes that they had some solutions, some clarity on what source they can have. But really, it's difficult because price really does come before sentiment, and sentiment is what is altering people's news headlines, their tweets, their everything, their YouTube videos. So when the price is going really high, you know, if you were to go back into YouTube archives and search March, videos with the Bitcoin title in March, you would probably see a lot of people talking about how Bitcoin's going to go to 100,000 and beyond. Just a lot of positive sentiment is in the air whenever price continues to go up. Whereas now the price going down, a lot of people are, like I said, beginning to question again whether it's a valuable investment, and or if they've kind of classified it in their mind as a valuable investment, they're questioning, when should I buy? Should I be buying or should I be selling, as I kind of mentioned in the last video? But yeah, so right now we can see that Bitcoin has not really given us any clear indication of where it wants to go. It's trending downwards for now, and there's no reason to believe that it's going to resume back up until, of course, price shows us that it has support at these levels. So I'll leave it at that for today. We're about 4 minutes into the video. So I wanted to mention quickly that videos I plan on producing in the future, hopefully if not today or this week, well, hopefully I'll say this week I'll be producing these videos, because this is kind of the orientation that I have my trading view set up. Everybody needs to understand the candles. What is a candle? What do these things represent? There are countless videos that I need to make that begin to discuss, how I read charts, how I look at price action, how I read volume, and all the other different indicators. So I got some video feedback, and I'm hoping to improve each of these videos each time. As you can see here, I've clearly made a few steps in the right direction. Hopefully everything is coming together a little bit more clearly. But yeah, so I want to keep this video short just to focus on the production quality and to focus on getting you information straightforward. So let's end it there with the charts, and let's get into some questions that were posted in the previous video. Here, Chris, thanks for the question. Chris asks, could you do an overview of Bitcoin 101 video? Because he says it's confusing, which it is. That and other altcoins, how to invest, and how it's going to change in the coming decades. So Chris, thanks again for posting the question there, and I hope you use that $10 in Bitcoin to your advantage somehow. But yeah, so the Bitcoin 101 is something that I'll have to approach in a different video just to keep this video short. And it is confusing. It's something that I'm still wrapping my mind around it, and especially as different altcoins come into focus, a lot of people don't really understand what's going on with Bitcoin. What is it? How does it work? And I'll be honest with you, the fact that I couldn't really wrap my mind around what exactly Bitcoin is and how it works early on when I first discovered it was an indicator to me of its how do I say this? An indicator that it was valuable. If you can look at something and understand it quickly, then that begs the question, how complex is this thing? So there's a longer conversation there. I think a better question, something that I can talk more about here, how is investing going to change in the coming decades? But I think that Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is really going to change investing in general, because the fact that Bitcoin is limited in its supply. There are only 21 million of them, and a lot of people are buying them, and they're sucking up the supply. They're purchasing the supply, they're owning the supply, they're saying, hey, this is mine. And depending on the value you see in it, you may or may not be willing to sell it anytime soon. So I think that there are a lot of videos that talk about how the limited supply and increase in demand over time is really going to cause Bitcoin to continue to increase in price. Although it's a tricky conversation, because Bitcoin is the first of its kind, and it has been followed up with a lot of different projects like Ethereum, Litecoin, Cardano. Those are some big ones that have come into the space. But everybody's kind of wondering if Bitcoin will remain on top or if something will come along and change it. So again, I'll better address some of those questions, Chris, in a different video, because I would love to better understand it, and the best way to sometimes learn something is by teaching. So next up, Chandler asks a few questions. How do you keep yourself from checking charts all the time? Have you found other indicators or news sources that give the same info without staring at charts, Twitter accounts, YouTube channels, etc.? And do you set up auto buys and sells to alleviate some of that? Cool. So yeah, thanks again for the question, Chandler. I'm going to take this time to address the question in a way that will hopefully protect you from losing money. And the reason I bring it up in this way is that the answer to your question, Chandler, is no. I do my best not to be on YouTube, on Twitter, Yahoo News, Finance, Google, any of those things. Like I tried to tell my dad this once. that essentially all of the headlines are really just clickbait. They're all going to try to get you to look at something and to pay attention to what they're saying, and it becomes extremely dangerous because everybody thinks that they're correct. Everybody thinks that they know something that somebody else doesn't know. So nobody has a crystal ball. Nobody knows where the price is going to go. So I do have my habits of scrolling through Twitter, and really I use Twitter as a type of indicator to figure out where people are at. Where is the broad majority? Is everybody bullish? Does everybody think it's going up? Is everybody bearish? Does everybody think it's going down? And at the end of the day, nobody has the inside scoop on what's going on with price and where it's going to go. I believe in the technology, and I am in this for the long term. So I don't have auto buys. I don't have auto sells. I don't try to look at headlines because they really just play with your head, and they will make you feel like buying or selling 1 minute to the next, and they really make it difficult to come up with a plan that is unemotional and calculated and stick to it. So really, Chandler, I would advise against really checking on Twitter. And even this YouTube channel is an indicator that maybe Bitcoin is too bullish. All right, well, thanks for watching. If you watched this far into the video, I definitely really appreciate it. This being the second video, I know that I have room for improvement, and I know that every video is going to be further refined to be shorter and more to the point. It takes a little bit of getting used to talking to a camera and formulating how to put everything together. This is my chicken scratch of notes that is me trying to formulate how to offer this to the audience. So thank you very much for the support, and yeah, we'll see you in the next one. See you later.